This is a place you want to get in a fight. This is a place to do it. And not only that, you want to get in a fight with dudes that are going to have your back, then, you know, come hang with the big dogs.
Do your fucking cardio, because this shit's fucking tiring. Rule number 1, cardio. Zombieland, right?
Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go!
You're gonna be given a rifle, 8 megs, get trained up, here's some grenades, go fucking do work.
Chosen, you are expected to do the craziest shit imaginable.
If you're gonna come out here and you actually wanna throw down and you're serious about it and you can be a professional soldier, bring the fight to the enemy, then come on, like come over and let's fuck shit up.
This may be the best English language documentary to come out of the war in Ukraine, and I think it's really going to resonate with our veterans here in the United States. Now, this is a project put together by Vet TV called Embed Actual, where the goal is to kind of reveal the realities of modern warfare by putting their reporters, U.S. combat veterans, by the way, on the ground in Ukraine. Now, what I'm going to show here are a few clips from episodes 1 and 2, but you can see the full episodes as well as the next 10 yet to be released by going to the link in the video description, and be sure to use code EMBED for 50% off your annual subscription. Actually, I want to play the intro here real quick because I feel like it really sets the stage for what this series is all about.
Across the river. We're gonna grab some coffee though before we hit the front line.
Head back into the bunker for safety. Make sure we don't get hit with counter battery. Oh, there's one.
All right, so I'm going to bounce around to show you some of my favorite clips, and I want to start with a piece talking to members of Chosen Company. This is a group of foreign volunteers who traveled to Ukraine to help them fight back against the Russian military. So they're asking these guys what led them to essentially seek out a war and head back to combat, and honestly, I kind of get it. So for any of my fellow veterans watching this, let me know if this hits home for you the same way it did for me.
Even my last years in the Army, I was chasing, you know, that extra deployment that I could never get. And so I left the Army pretty frustrated. And, you know, because all I wanted was to fight more. Started bouncing from one civilian job to another, tried to go to college and failed pretty miserably at that.
I felt lost. I've worked a variety of jobs, everything from working in a law office to picking watermelons. Nothing compared to being on a deployment or being in combat.
It was boring. Is the main thing. When I got out, I decided to go. I was going to use my GI Bill, but I had to wait until August of 2022 to start school, and I got out in November of 2021. So quite a long gap. So I, you know, did what any veteran does: move back home, get a part-time, full-time job, something basic, and just waiting for school.
So I got out of the Marine Corps and I tried going to school for a little bit, and I just knew it wasn't for me. You feel like you're alone. Nobody talks to you. You don't really talk to nobody. You know, you don't have that purpose and that belonging that you used to have when you were in. You know, you wake up, do what you got to do, and go back, and there's days where you don't even say a word, you know? So it's like, you feel like you're a wasted potential. Like you got all this training and all the skills, and you're just like, now I'm here going to college for something I don't really care about, but I have to make a living. Eventually, I kind of got tired of it, and I wanted to go be useful.
And I saw that they had made a call for foreigners. It's like, yo, I will go. And I had heard that people were just showing up to the border.
When Zelensky said they needed foreign volunteers with military experience, and I saw that on the news, on Reddit, online, everyone saying, I just said, I have to go. So I fucking went.
my end goal in general is to just thug it out, man. Just thug it out at the end. Try to survive. I want to be part of history. I want to be part of history. I want to do something good. I want to be the main fighting effort. And that's why I want to be in Chosen. That's why I'm not fucking leaving the unit at all.
Look, I get it. I bounced around between jobs after leaving active duty, and similar to a lot of veterans, I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. I mean, the deal is you get all this training, 5, 10, 20 years even, worth of how to fight wars. Then you end up as like an operations manager at Target. And no offense to Target or anything like that, but it's easy to see how so many veterans feel like they have this skill set that's being wasted while they might still have more to give. Now, I do want to note that in hearing those guys talk, they're not talking about, the international order or NATO or Ukraine's sovereignty or anything like that. It's about wanting to do good, to make a positive impact and be among people they trust to have their back in some of the most challenging life or death situations. Now, another clip I wanted to highlight here was the team driving towards the front lines and just kind of documenting their experience as they go.
Once we passed Kharkiv, the devastation of the war started to settle in as we got closer to the front. As we entered Izium, we passed multiple bunker positions and found a small town still devastated from the initial Russian invasion from 2022. Most of the civilians are gone, and troops from multiple units now call Izium home in between rotations to the front line. While waiting on our link-up for 3rd Assault Brigade, we entered a children's school, devastated by the intense fighting in Izium.
You still see the remnants of paintings on the walls, and obviously there's some really heavy fighting around here. You can see the hallways have been blown out. The stairways have been caved in, clearly from heavy artillery fire or anti-tank or even just missile fire, bullet holes all over. So it kind of gives the, obviously the intensity and the, brutality of the war here in Ukraine. Getting here on the ground and seeing it firsthand and then betting in, this is how you get news out, this is how you get the real story, not just on your Instagram, but getting in here and realizing what's happening, what's going on the ground here. So it's pretty intense, it's pretty surreal, and it's just one of those things where you just kind of, thank God you don't have it back in the States.
All right, couple thoughts there. First off, just want to say how appreciative I am of Vet TV putting this project together and putting people on the ground to document this war in English language, if you will, right? The point they make right there is incredibly valid. You got to be on the ground and see this firsthand to really be able to tell the ins and outs of what's happening there. That's a shortage from my perspective right now, something I'm working on, but this clip really kind of drove that home to me. I don't know why looking at this felt different, but this little series looked much more powerful than the, how many ever hundreds or thousands of hours of war footage I've watched at this point. It's just kind of a stark reminder of how much of Ukraine has been destroyed and that much of what's being fought over right now, they're not empty fields, but homes and schools that were filled with families just a few short years ago. Now, eventually the Embed Actual team makes their way towards the front and spends some time with the 3rd Assault Brigade. This is one of Ukraine's most famous units, known for constantly being thrown into some of the hottest sectors of the front and regularly inflicting serious damage on Russian forces.
Nice unit, nice guys, nice quests, very good guns, crazy guys, experienced guys, true warriors.
What's it like being a part of a unit like 3rd Assault?
І як воно тепер бути в 3-й штурмовій бригаді?
Охуєнно, мені подобається.
It's fucking rocks, I like it.
Look, any U.S. veteran can probably connect with that dude at the end there, right? Saying he fucking likes it, being in the war zone. War is not a good thing. It's not pretty, but in the midst of combat, some people can actually find meaning. And this is something that I think Vet TV really nails in Embed Actual. Yes, overall, war is tragic, and I hope the fighting stops as soon as possible so families can be reunited and live in peace. But so much media glosses over this little aspect because it probably doesn't fit neatly into a larger narrative. I have no doubt that these guys in the clip also want the war to end, but it's naive and kind of a big blind spot in our media to assume that soldiers don't take pride in their work and to a degree enjoy some of the aspects that come with combat. I mean, I know that this will come across as crazy to most civilians and even some folks from the military, but Let's be honest, all of us who serve know at least a few people who are happier and more fulfilled deployed than they were stateside. So yeah, I'm glad Vet TV brings out that kind of underreported aspect of this war. But hey, being an artillery guy, I have to include the clip of when Embed Actual sets up next to a Ukrainian firing position.
After observing the long-range drone team in action, we moved into an artillery position closer to the front line. Here we observed the British-supplied mobile artillery piece, the AS-90. With a baseline distance of 15 miles for ammunition, it's incredibly effective against the Russian trench lines. Once we were done looking at the AS-90, we made our way into the trench where the Ukrainian military team live and operate for weeks at a time. The bunker helps protect the team from counter-Russian artillery strikes and FPV drones. The artillery team works around the clock, and today is no different. A fire suppression mission is called up, and we get the green light.
We're heading back into the bunker for safety. Make sure we don't get hit with counter battery.
All right, so counter battery is essentially when one side tries to knock out the other's artillery. So as soon as those big guns go boom, they're identified either on Russian radar or by drones overhead, and pretty shortly thereafter, you can expect something to start impacting right around the firing point. Even with the overhead cover at that piece, the Embed Actual team is, rightly so, not taking any risks and trucks it back to the dugout where they find out the results of that fire mission. It's pretty cool to see that whole process start to finish. And again, this is all from Embed Actual, a new documentary put together by Vet TV, and you can see all of episodes 1 and 2, as well as the next 10 yet to come out by going to the link in the video description, and be sure to use code EMBED to save 50% off an annual subscription. But thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.